Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of FPL Conservatory, your one-stop shop for all things Fantasy Premier League. First of all, we've hit 50 subscribers. I'd like to thank each of you for taking that 0.5 seconds out of your life to click the subscribe button. Very much appreciate it. Having a lot of fun making these, so thank you for the support. We are joined today by just Joe.
Yes, hello.
And Perry.
What up?
Jake, unfortunately, isn't with us today because he's a lazy cunt who prioritises pre-wedding dinners over Fantasy Premier League.
Oh.
He'll regret that. He will be regretting that when he starts with Danny Ings in the starting 11 next week.
Dropping the C-bomb in the intro, love it.
That's it, mate. And no messing about. You miss an episode, you get the hammer. Jordan has also bowed last minute. He's a little bitch. He's actually broke his ankle, we believe, or severely hurt his ankle playing football.
So keep Jordan out the team pre-season, mate. Injury. Coming up with a red eye sign above him.
75% chance of playing. Ray is also absent today. We believe he has a strange rash on his genitals, which will all be...
Stand by for the picture to confirm.
We'll be revealing to you if those subscriptions keep rolling in. My name's Mason. I'm your host for today's show. If you like listening to us prattle on about FPL and banter each other's shit teams, decisions, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. We have a league you can all join. Entry code is wcrewd, which will be in the description below. We have quite a healthy amount of numbers. I think we're coming up to 90 people so far. So please join. Let's get the triple digits going, and we should have some good banter for that season.
If we get 100, we're going to do a prize giveaway.
Yeah, we're thinking that. We're thinking to add some prizes, some rewards. We're not sure what that is yet. Maybe a signed photo of Ray's Todger or something like that. So we'll be brainstorming. But yeah,
I want to win that.
Yeah, I'm gonna rig it. I want it.
Yeah.
So on today's show, we're going to be looking at the latest transfers, gossip, obviously closing in now on the start of the season. All the clubs want to get their deals done. So we're going to look at all that kind of news and the potential to include these players in your final draft team before that ever-looming deadline next week. Very daunting next Friday night. Premier League season kicks off. We'll take a look at the preseason matches this week, see who's shining, see who's tickling ye old FPL bone as we scramble to find a team that we're all happy with. We'll also take a look at our bench tactics this episode. What strategies we're using in terms of personnel, and also the game chips and the wild cards and how we hope to use them. I strongly advise to not use wildcard after game week 1, like I did last year. You'll land in a healthy bottom place.
Yeah, this is the bottom feeder talking.
Bottom feeder general here. We're also going to chat about the major headache all the FPL managers have come across, the Sterling Salah conundrum. We'll look at the options there of including both or either or. And we're also going to review one of your teams that was left in the last video comments. Cool. That was the intro. And we will kick off talking about the transfers and the updates and the gossip and all that stuff. Perry, Mr. Williamson, could you give me your discussion, your input on Vallejo to Wolves from Madrid? He's on loan. Defender.
Yeah, so Vallejo to Wolves from Madrid. It's a loan deal. He's worth 5 million. Okay, and he's a defender going to Wolves. This summer, he actually captained the Spain side who won the UEFA Under-21 European Championship. So that is pretty impressive. Vallejo and Johnny have played together on several occasions for the Spanish youth side, with the only defeat the pair both experienced came against Germany in the final of the 2017 UEFA European Under-21 Championship. So they look like they've got a real good combination there. So long as Wolves don't get to any finals, they won't lose a game. All right, so that's what the stats tell us. That they will not lose. Don't lose. Across the last 2 seasons, he managed to make just 12 appearances in the league due to injury. So he's quite an injury-prone player going from last season. But he did also make 1 appearance in the Champions League. Now, Wolves have quite a tough start to the Premier League season, so we're trying to think Vallejo at the start of the season. With the first 5 fixtures of Leicester away, United at home, Burnley at home, Everton away, and Chelsea at home.
Tough.
So that is a tough run-in. So it's hard. We might want to sit back. You might want to let them games play out and see if Vallejo actually starts. He comes obviously with good pedigree, but he's young. He's new to the Premiership. He's quite injury prone. So who knows? You might want to sit back and put him in a few weeks in.
Yeah.
Vallejo's main competition would be Ryan Bennett. And it's thought that he will eventually take Bennett's spot in the starting 11. However, it may take some time for the Spaniard to integrate into the team. This also relies on Vallejo remaining fit to claim a spot for the first team. So, I mean, I'm going, guys, listeners, I'm going through Jordan's notes here because this was Jordan's thing, but he last minute got clamps by some geezer two-footed him probably because he's a prick. So, yeah, Ginger, right. So he's had a few hamstrings injuries, so I'm seeing, a few muscle injuries, muscle tears. So in a summary, he's a really good player, comes with great pedigree, great international, but he gets injured a lot.
Is he going to budge any of that Wolves defence? They have a pretty solid defence, right? Is he going to be able to possibly, shoehorn his way into that defence? Because they were impressive last year.
I mean, possibly. I mean, as we said here, Ryan Bennett, he could take his spot, but only if he stays fit. Because as you said, that Wolves back four is decent. Like Bolly was a favourite of mine last season, got a lot of points in, scored a few as well, Bolly. But overall, good player. I would not put him in at the start. I'd maybe see. And putting him later on after Wolves' first 5 fixtures are finished.
Cool.
And that's all I've got to say on Vallejo, really.
That's what I've got to say about Vallejo, really.
Yeah. I'd add on Wolves. There's 2 things put me off. So one is literally right now they're playing in the Europa League. So
yeah, true.
We saw what happened to Burnley last year. They started early, didn't have much of a pre-season. It was all going to these countries in Europe and whatnot, and they struggled. And also Wolves made the least amount of changes last year, so obviously they're going to have to change it now with European football, but it seems like he's happy with his team. If they're there, he'll keep them. So I think you're right. I think Bennett, Bowley and Cody, I think they're going to be mainstays. It'll be hard for him to get in.
Yeah, and just to further add on to Wolves, this is live updates, obviously won't be live when you listen, but as the moment of this recording, Wolves are 3-1 up against Northern Ireland side Crusaders in Europa League qualification. 2 goals from Raul Jimenez, 1 goal from Ryan Bennett, and an assist apiece for Jota and Hal Moutinho.
Oh, Wolves are in the points.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey, subscribers, what else can you ask for, man? That's up to date.
Ryan Bennett did also score an own goal, so he technically got 2 goals, but obviously...
Get him out.
Sub him out.
Mate, so you got the team up there now?
I do have
is Den Donker playing?
Den Donker did start, yes.
He did. He's 4.5 mil and he's getting games.
Yeah,
I thought he was in my team.
This is a trap people are going to fall into. He ain't going to get the points. He is not going to get the points.
Den Donker can score a goal though, man. He scored a few last season, back into last season.
Look, when you got a name like Den Donker, mate. No, I don't know. He's obviously great value for 4.5, but I just think he's going to be a letdown because everyone else around him is going to get the points. He's just not going to get them. I don't think. What do I know? Bottom feeder. Right, let's move on to the next story. Jordan Ayew to Palace. Was he on loan there last year? And I thought he played there anyway. But,
yeah, he was there. He was there last year.
Yeah, so they've now gone out and bought him. He only played just over 1,000 minutes last year. Racked up a cool 46 points throughout the season, 1 goal and 3 assists. Very, very not interesting to me at all. He's 5 mil, so maybe he could be a differential later in the season, something to watch out for. But if I see any of you with Jordan Ayew in your team from the first week, we're having words.
Ray, listen to this.
Ray, please listen. Even the season before that, he played almost triple the minutes. He nearly hit 3,000 minutes, and he only got just over 100 points. So he doesn't seem like a strong FPL asset. Doesn't carry much of a threat. I think there's better players to look at in the Palace team and just elsewhere, to be honest, for similar value. Mr. Joseph Cummins, haven't heard much of you yet tonight, so this would be a welcome pleasure. Can you talk about one of your favourite players in the league? Idrissa Gueye, moving to PSG. What does that mean for Everton?
What did you just call me?
Perry's gay. Sorry, Idrissa Gueye. What does that mean for Everton? What does that mean for the FPL assets for Everton? The likes of no Zuma, no Gay, and like how does that affect Luca Dino and Seamus and all these guys?
Yeah, it's a good point. So obviously I got shut down massively when I mentioned Ndidi leaving. Everyone had a go at me for the whole Leicester thing. But I mean, Everton are a weird one because they've lost Zuma on loan. I don't think they're getting him back. I think he's staying at Chelsea. So they've lost him and they've lost Gay now to PSG. So it's going to be a tough one, I think, because they're going to find it hard to replace him. The obvious replacement is going to be the legend that is Fabian Delph.
Man like Delph.
Well, he's 5.5 million, but he's actually on FPL as a defender. So he could be one to watch because you'll be getting those clean sheet points to keep a clean sheet. But obviously, he's playing higher up. He might have some influence. I'm not expecting him to get many goals or assists, but it depends because Everton last year, they got 14 clean sheets. So
it's not bad.
Having an Everton defender probably was the way forward. Like Digne got a lot of points. Pickford got a lot of points. So I think Delph will be there, and Everton's fixtures look really healthy. So with Coleman fully fit, Digne, probably going to be Delph and Gomez in the middle. I don't think they're going to get a lot of points, but if Delph's going to play and he gets in the clean sheet points, he's 5.5 million. Digne's 6 million. Delph could be in the team, you know.
I mean, it's a good point. He'll be playing that kind of CM role, but listed as defender, he might get a couple. He's obviously much more likely to get assists, maybe even a screamer from outside the box or something like that. In that position.
Sorry, what was his price? If I can just interject, what was
sure. Delph is going for 5.5 million. 5.5. He's a bit of a yellow card magnet, though. I don't think he gets too many reds, but I know he takes like the tactical yellow card and everything. I don't think it's a big issue for him, but I know he's had a few knocks in that. I think he must be in his 30s or late 20s now. So
yeah,
I think it's a good bit of business done by Everton there to get Fabian Delph in, definitely. But I don't know if he's a fantasy player.
I think it'll depend on the centre back thing. I think Zuma had a decent season from him and Keane towards the end of the season. They had a good partnership, but I think Zuma's going to be staying because with the Rudiger injury, and I don't really see Everton linked with anyone. So Yerry Mina might come in, who didn't have a great season. He was very injury prone, and he's been done for apparently breaching FA betting rules. So I don't know if he's suspended or anything.
But the session, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. Because if you get the right Everton players, I think the points could be there. Is Delph the right option? I don't know. Digne seems solid. Coleman 5.5. Yeah.
No, that's the defensive side. Do you think the attacking guys will suffer at all? Siggy or Richarlison?
I've got Calvert-Lewin up top at the moment.
You got DLC.
I'm looking for some what's the word? Like well done for having him. You know.
Yeah, we spoke about him on the pod last week, and we said about how his points to minutes ratio was actually really impressive. But they have just signed Moyes Keane.
Yeah, he will definitely play.
Very close. And he's meant to be very highly rated, so it could definitely hamper Calvert-Lewin's minutes. So
I keep an eye on that Pell in this final week, mate. If they get that guy over the line, DCL will be on the bench again, I reckon.
I feel my knees just twerk, just sort of moving up and down, jerking.
Is that a sexual thing?
Yeah. You guys happened.
All right, Perry Williamson, talk to me. Douglas Luiz to Villa.
Yeah, Douglas Luiz. Never heard of him before. I was asked to look him up. But I have done my due diligence. So Douglas Luiz, listen, right? 21-year-old Brazilian CM, yeah, Brazilian under-23 captain, right? Was at Man City, hugely rated by Pep Guardiola, even though he was loaned out over the last 2 seasons due to an issue with a work permit. Now, Guardiola has come out and said that he wanted to keep Luiz in the team, but because Man City couldn't work out this work permit, he's had to be sold to Villa. Villa are much more confident in securing the job permit, though they haven't actually secured it yet. So he's got a price, 4.5 million. He's got the move, but he hasn't actually got a job permit to work. But Villa apparently is very confident. So from my research, it looks like he will be able to play for Villa.
Interesting. Where does he play, sorry?
He's a centre mid for... Yeah, so he's worth 4.5 mil, centre mid for Aston Villa. So for the last 2 seasons, he was loaned to Girona, La Liga, So in his first season in the Liga with Girona, okay, they finished 10th, but he struggled to get starts. His second season, he was much more fruitful, got lots of starts. They got relegated. He contributed 0 assists, 0 goals.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously, I sort of jokingly hyped him up first half. Do not put Douglas Luiz in your team. Yeah, he has not registered in his last 2 seasons in La Liga. He has not registered 1 assist or 1 goal. I think he's more of a defensive mid. Guardiola wanted him to be the replacement for Fernandinho. It couldn't work because it could have this job permit. Douglas Luiz is a for me no from.
Right.
No.
So Douglas Luiz not registered a goal or assist, not even registered as a fucking player.
Fucking under 23 Brazilian captain. Don't put him in, mate.
Don't put him in. No job permits. It's very risky.
Yeah.
You hear this, Ray? You're hearing this, Ray? Don't put him in. You want David Luiz, not Douglas.
Right, no, he's definitely slotting right.
While we're on Villa, Joe, I'd like to get your opinion.
Jordan, are you?
I'd like to get your opinion, Mr. Joe, on Villa. I know a few weeks back we said that they're going to do another Fulham, where they're spending all this money, signing all these players. Do you still feel the same way?
I don't. Today they've signed Tom Heaton, which I think is a brilliant signing.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
He's a FPL legend, really. I mean, that first year, a couple of years ago with Burnley, him, me, Mikowski getting points. I don't know. Villa are they're such a weird one because they're signing that many players. I know they've got a lot of players going out and whatnot, and they're not signing people that are like Premier League experienced. So it does a lot of you hear like on TalkSport, you hear on other the fans, they're sounding really confident about their signings, but I don't know. It seems like a mixed bag. Like I'm going to avoid Villa altogether for the first few weeks, see what their team is like settled because, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the difference between them and Fulham this year, I think Fulham changed their team too much. You know, they kind of left what got them in the Premier League and they tried to just buy themselves to a different way of football, different style of play and try and like cement themselves that way. Obviously backfired horribly. Villa are buying players who are kind of replacing those because a lot of their success was made up of loanees, right, last season, the likes of Tammy Abraham, for example, who's now back at Chelsea, obviously. So they're replacing like for like. So although they're signing a lot of players, I think that they are doing it in a much more responsible way, let's say, than Fulham.
Yeah, they sort of are, but then at the same time, just play devil's advocate. So Tom Heaton, he should be okay. I think he'll be fine. But then in front of him, they had Tyrone Mings and Twanzebe last year. So obviously Twanzebe is staying at United, and Mings he couldn't even get in the Bournemouth team, who weren't that solid defensively. He gets a lot of yellow cards. He's got a bit of a rash reputation. They've got a new right back who's meant to be quite decent, but he's never played in the Premier League. They've taken Tammy Abraham, replaced him with Brazilian Wesley from, I think, Shakhtar. So he could go one way or the other. So I don't know. They're either going to they'll be fine, or they're going to, I don't know. It's a tough one to call.
Yeah, so I think the FPL Conservatory advice on Villa is kind of sit and wait. Obviously, they're a newly promoted team anyway, so you shouldn't be getting that excited over them. Even if you do love Jack Grealish and the likes, like I think it's just chill out. You know, let's be realistic. They're probably not going to be great FPL assets. All right, good. Let's go to a bigger one, a good one. Pepe to Arsenal. What does this mean, Joe? What does Pepe to Arsenal mean?
This is George Kevin and Kudu 2.0. Just avoid. No, I can't even. It's annoying because I'm a Spurs fan here. He looks really good. So he's gone for about 80 million, hasn't he? So
yeah,
he can play up front or on the wing. He's left-footed, so he comes off the right. So obviously Liga last year, 22 goals, 11 assists. It's pretty outrageous stats. Only Mbappe scored. Yeah, only Mbappe scored more. I think he's going to be good. If he gets registered as a midfielder and he's under 10 million, I think he's just going to get snapped up really quick because he's got the pace. He's got sort of a Sadio Mane about him. And you've got to think Arsenal, they might, at Aubameyang, Lacazette and Pepe out front, there's going to be a lot of points there.
Right. I mean, this is going to cause massive headaches for me
he gets listed as a midfielder. He got the same amount of goals as Uber last year, over twice as many assists. He's going to cause some real headaches for me if he comes in as a midfielder. I'm going to do some.
Well, have you got Aubameyang in your team?
No, I don't have any Arsenal striker in my team at the moment. I think it could be a bad shout. I think they're going to score a lot of goals this season, but they're just so damn expensive.
The Arsenal strikers.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice another big player, or you have to have basically 3 big players, and then the rest of your team is all under 6 mil. It's really, really difficult.
Yeah, that's how my team's looking at the moment.
Oh, you've gone very top heavy, have you? 3 or 4 big players, and then the rest just den donkers.
Well, I'll save it for the Sterling Salah conundrum.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so
one thing I will.
Go on.
Yeah, sorry about Pepe. Yeah, I will say that obviously I seem to be like an AFCON genius here, but he was at the AFCON Ivory Coast. They got quite far, so he didn't train with Lille. He'll probably link up with Arsenal this week, but I don't think he'd start game week 1. So he might be someone who gets integrated, come off the bench, 30-minute cameos. I think come September after the international break, he'll be in. So it depends if you're going to wild card quite early and you just want to see the teams, then keep an eye out for him. But I don't see him having a massive impact in the early game weeks.
Yeah, I see myself game week 1 wild card to get him in again.
Exactly.
It's a prudent tactic. Yes, all right. Yeah, I think he's going to be great this season. I really do. So let's see. But obviously, he probably won't jump 90 minutes game in, game out from the off. So a smart idea might be to not use all of your free transfers every week. Try and build 1 up or to keep 2 up. So you could maybe rejiggle to get him in if he does start scoring. Yeah. Right, to another kind of less exciting signing. We go to Philip Billing. May remember him played for the Terriers last season. He's been sold to Bournemouth. I don't think he'll be in their starting 11 plans. I think he's probably more of a backup. Although Kevin Brooks is now injured and out for some time. Maybe Billing could fill that spot. Are they similar players, Joe? Am I wrong here? Or
No, Billing's more of a sort of holding midfielder, sort of just a centre midfielder. David Brooks, he's on the wing. He's a creative player, so that's a big loss for Bournemouth.
I said Kevin. I said Kevin Brooks, didn't I? That was wrong.
Oh, is there? Oh, sorry. Yeah,
no,
Brooks.
You're right. It is David. Is it?
Yeah, he's out for. It's David Brooks. Brooks is out for 3 months.
Yeah, let's just do the surname. I heard that on the radio today. Yeah, that's a damaging blow to Bournemouth there.
Yeah, it does kind of.
And if you've got Wilson or King up top, that might make you think twice now. Another less player to the system.
Yeah, I've got Fraser. I think that's good for Fraser, but bad for King. I actually have both. I have Fraser and King. I think it's good for Fraser because he's going to get more of the ball. But there'll be less chances and options for King.
Possibly rated Brooks though. Brooks good player.
He is good. Yeah, he's very good. So let's go back. Billing to Bournemouth. Don't think starting 11. I'd be very surprised if he does play regularly for Bournemouth. But yeah, just wanted to keep you updated with all the comings and goings. Keep an eye on him, but not too much. Next one, another signing which we'll probably overlook quite a bit. Newcastle signing a guy called Alan Saint Maximin. He's a winger. They paid almost 17 million for him. He's been described as the most frustrating French prospect since Hatem Ben Arfa.
Stick him in, mate.
Exactly. So if that doesn't tell you in on game week 1, I don't know what will. So again, Newcastle attacker. He has not been well praised. Avoid probably. And Tom Heaton's already been covered. Joe, do you want to do a couple words for Everton and Moyes Keane and the potential of him?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what price he comes in. He's very highly rated in Italy. Played in the under-21s, looked quite sharp. I think if you look at the fixtures Everton have got, if he does come in, if he is starting ahead of Calvert-Lewin, he's definitely one to watch. But I'm hoping he comes in at 6 million because that seems to be the sort of price where there's a gap for.
I think we'll be very lucky if he comes in at that price. I don't know, actually, maybe. But I just hope he's not another Cenk Tosun, mate. That's what I want.
No, he's
my draft team last year just
terrible. Could not shift it. Yeah. None of you wanted to trade me with Cenk Tosun for some reason. I couldn't figure out why. So those are the most recent transfers and updates. Is there any more? Have we missed any today? I've not actually checked.
You're looking good, mate. Looking good.
Looking good. All right, let's move on to some of the preseason matches. I'll cover the first one, Chelsea versus Reading. And actually, there was another Chelsea game last night, which I'll cover too, which was against... who did we play?
Leipzig.
RB Leipzig, that's it. So first of all, Chelsea versus Reading. We won 4-3. Again, leaking quite a lot of goals. Mason Mount scored 2. Kennedy scored 1, and Barkley scored a really good free kick. Barkley has been on all of Chelsea's free kicks and the one penalty we've had, even while Jorginho's been playing.
Oh, really?
Yes. So definitely think about that. Barkley's
what's his price? Sorry, what's Barkley's price?
Barkley's 6 million.
That's decent, you know.
I have put him in my team. I think he could be
that knee jerk.
Yeah, I did this last year. Barkley come and scored 2 goals in one game, and I knee jerked him in my team, and then he blanked for 6 weeks. But I think under Lampard, playing a more attacking CAM role, like, couldn't have a better bloody coach. And he's looked really, really, really good, and I think he's going to start against Man United. It could be a huge value pick. CAM for Chelsea, 6 million. I could be right, or I could be Barkleying up the wrong tree.
Oh, nice. There it is.
Nice.
Yes. So also Chelsea played RB Leipzig yesterday, which was the 31st of July, and we looked very good again. We did leak another 3 goals, which is worrying. So if you do have Chelsea defenders or Kepa in goal, do consider that. We are conceding a lot, but we're playing some good attacking football. Batshuayi got a goal. Christian Pulisic scored 2. He looked very strong. His 2 goals looked Hazard-esque, even the way he was cutting in and kind of dragging the shot across the keeper into the bottom corner for both goals. Pedro scored a wonder goal, which was assisted by Barkley, and Barkley scored a penalty as well. So there was 5 goals there that I just spoke about. There's a lot of goals, it seems, in this Chelsea team. I'm not seeing many Chelsea players in people's draft, which can be risky. Especially with rotation with likes of Pedro and Willian. I do have Barkley. I think he's probably the best pick because the strikers are all on rotation as well, and the defence seems a bit shaky. And Barkley's 6 mil. So that would be my advice for everybody. Please come to my head when he doesn't start against Man United next week.
Set yourself up there, mate.
That's it. Come for me.
You're getting a comment from the subscribers.
I want to take some of the heat off Jordan. You know, everyone's talking about Jordan's nan and this and that. So,
yeah, you shouldn't have a nan so sexy then.
That's his own. It's true. It is his own problem.
She should have said nude, so it's reckless. Well.
After we reach the subscriber goal for a picture of Ray's penis, the next unlock for the next subscriber goal will be Jordan's nan nudes.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, high scores.
All right, next game: Arsenal v Lyon. Joseph.
Yes, the ever prestigious Emirates Cup. It's not coming home because Lyon won 2-1. It's going to be the story of Arsenal, I think. So first half they created a lot. Aubameyang scored. He's looking quite sharp. And then second half, Lyon just didn't really do much, but they didn't need to. It's just 2 free balls through the defence. Scored them both, beat them 2-1. Things to note, I guess, will be that Kebelos come on. He looked quite sharp. He's price reveal now. He's 5.5 million. So if he's starting for him, and you've got, obviously, we mentioned Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang, he could pick up some points. Quite a budget midfielder. Lacazette went off injured. He was pictured wearing a protective boot. They don't think it's too serious, but I know Arsenal had a pre-season game last night and he wasn't in the squad, so might be worth watching. So it could be just Aubameyang up front, so he could be a good shout for game week 1.
Yeah, but with Laka or Pepe in there, I don't think he's going to have much service. We saw it last year, right, when he was siloed up top. He did go missing a few games.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, I mean, if Laka doesn't come back in time, it looks a bit shaky.
Yeah, so Arsenal, they've done all right pre-season. I know they had quite a successful US trip.
Did they
but it's
play
just,
yesterday? Did they play yesterday as well? Against the
yeah, they
French?
played like some French team. It was 1-1.
Anglers. 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. I don't think they played anyone back here. I think it was quite sort of a youthful team. But defence still looking shaky. There's no one that's going to come in. So if they don't sign me on the next 7 or 8 days, they're going to have to win every game like 4-3 because their captain Koscielny wants to go. Yeah, it's going to be Mustafi and Socrates at the back, which just you can't have them in your team.
That does not sound good, does it?
It doesn't. It just sort of eradicates Leno because Leno for 5 million could have been tempting, but with that back four in front of him, it's not looking great.
Yeah, Arsenal fans, real unrest at the moment with Koscielny, right? There's a lot of passionate kind of, not hate, but they're very upset with him and how.
I guess it's because he threw his toys out the pram and refused to go pre-season, which isn't the way to go about getting a move, is it? And that's why. But I think from an Arsenal perspective, they're sort of split because obviously Koscielny's been a great servant to the club, captain them to 2 FA Cups, I think. So. But I think if he doesn't want to pay for the club, they should just let him go. But that's I
think it's a shame. 9 years of service, and it's kind of gone down to this, and he's hated after 1 week. So it's like, a bit of a shame. But none of us are Arsenal fans, so who cares?
Too right, mate. Too right.
Joe, we're going to stick with you. Man City played in Japan, I believe, against Yokohama Marinos.
Is that what you're sponsored by, Chelsea?
We're sponsored by Yokohama Tyres. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So City played. Etihad played Yokohama.
Yes.
Tell me about that game.
Yeah, they won 3-1. Still the people from the Copa America, Edison, Jesus, and Aguero, they're still absent. The main thing I'd say with the highlight was De Bruyne. I know it's the team, you say it's not that prestigious, but he ran the show. He got 3 assists. He scored a brilliant goal. That was set up by Bernardo Silva as well. So Bernardo Silva's keeping up where he left last season. De Bruyne's been really good in pre-season. He's given me an issue in midfield, but we'll see, because 9.5 million, if he's going to get back to his best from the season before last, he's got to go in, surely.
Surely. Tell me, guys, tell us, listeners.
It's making me think, man.
Listeners, has anyone downgraded from Sterling to De Bruyne after watching him in this game or in pre-season? It's a huge kind of cost saving.
I'm thinking to stick both in.
I haven't done it personally. Yeah. I haven't done it personally. But yeah, I would consider it. I'm going to leave it a few games.
Yeah, I think their biggest test will be they're playing Liverpool on Sunday in the Community Shield. It's not a friendly, but you get 7 subs, so it's not that competitive. So it'll be interesting. The thing to note, Laporte took a knock. He's going to be ruled out of the Community Shield. They're not definitely saying he'll be back for game week 1. So that City defence, he was meant to be the set and forget decent points in that. So
that does
one to keep your eye out on.
How many of us have Laporte in the team right now?
I took him out.
Oh, I still have him in. Okay, so just me who's annoyed by that.
And Mason is bottom of the league, so that's just.
I'm not yet. I think by alphabetical order, I think I'm higher than at least Perry. I'll take it. It's like when AFC Bournemouth start at the top every year. They're like, yeah, take that.
Aston Villa, like third in the league.
Yeah,
get their players.
Yeah, mate, it's because of that Rodriguez Luiz, mate, under 23 Brazilian captain.
Douglas Luiz.
Douglas Luiz, man. I don't even know his fucking name.
He don't even know his name. Okay, he ain't even got a job permit. Right.
Jesus.
I think the two of you can tag team Spurs, as you're both Spurs fans. You played Madrid and Bayern in the prestigious, most extravagant Audi Cup. Won some silverware, guys. Congratulations.
Tag teamed a few people in our time.
Especially. I can't say it.
Oh my God.
11 men.
Yes, so I'll start this one, Pearl. We played Real Madrid and then we won that, so we went through to the final and played Bayern Munich, where we won on penalties. It was the same thing again, where it was Poch giving most people 45 minutes to do what they can do. The key things to look at, Ndombele wasn't playing, but they said it was just it wasn't an injury. He should be playing this weekend against Inter Milan. But as I say, he's not an FPL asset, so we don't really need to touch on that. The one we should talk about was, he's come up on every pod. It's a bit redundant. The whole right back situation. I keep saying 1-4F. Everyone keeps saying no. And he's made a decision for us now because he's got a pretty bad injury, like his Achilles. He had to get stretchered off. Aurier's still injured, so we only have one right back going into the season. So step forward 5 mil, Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, it's gonna be good value, you know.
Yeah,
Could do a good job.
I'm going to avoid Spurs because our first 5 games we've got Leicester away, Man City away, and Arsenal away. We've got good home fixtures, but I guess if it's 5 mil and he's going to be your 4th or 5th defender, he could be worth slotting in.
Yeah.
Kane's looking really sharp. It's good to say.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Kane's in my team, but you're that starts putting me off now. I'm thinking.
And if you want to talk knee-jerking 6 million midfielders, Eric Lamella's been unreal this pre-season. He is a yellow card magnet and he's quite injury-prone, but when he's on form, he's on form. And
who's
he could be one to watch if he stays fit.
Whose spot's he going to take?
I tell you, I'm still not that impressed with Ali at the moment. Ali's been a bit hit and miss. He's not getting the best reviews. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be Lucas or Lamella, I think, for the first game week. And then, I think Spurs are a bit tough. I think Kane's the one, and the rest might be, I wouldn't risk them for the first few weeks, see how the season goes.
Yeah, I mean, I worry. I have sleepless nights when I realise I don't have a premium striker. Bamiyang, Kane, Aguero, what is going on? But yeah, I'm obviously putting all my chips in the midfield basket. Yes, so Perry, you was obviously at the game, Southampton versus Feyenoord.
Yeah, made the trip.
Yeah, can you tell me how it was? Can you tell me what you saw?
Well, we all know how big the rivalry runs between these clubs, and all the mad history that the two clubs have. But I mean, Southampton won the game 3-1. Che Adams got the first. Got on the score sheet again, so he's had another impressive pre-season, 6.5 mil. He's one to think about because of that. If he was 6 mil, I'd think about him more. But at 0.5, I think is a little bit too much for it. I think he's rated he's too expensive than he should be. So that's what's putting me off Che Adams. But his goal was good. Scored it in the 6th minute. Hunting from the top. It was sort of half a mistake from the defender, quite a heavy touch, but he got in there, finished it. He looked sharp. Toshiba got in. I mean Yoshida got in. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Yoshida got in with a second scrappy goal. Now Yoshida's 4.5. And for a starting Southampton defender, Southampton's a hard one to call this year, I think. They've got a good manager. I believe he's a good manager. Will they keep clean sheets? I'm not sure. Yoshida, I think, will play. But for 4.5, no, not for me. And then the third was scored by Boufal. Now, Boufal, you can't even get him on FPL at the moment. He's got no price. So
who did he play for before?
Boufal. He was out on loan last year.
No, he was at Southampton still, right? Yeah, okay.
No, he went out on loan somewhere last year, and he's come back. And obviously, he didn't have a successful loan because he's come back. So,
because he joined Southampton the season before that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I remember when he joined, he was like, wow, he's like really tricky winger, like really quite good, but failed to impress so far, and I wouldn't surprise me. He failed again.
So that is the naughty game of Southampton versus Feyenoord.
Yes, of course. Flares were thrown, police were called, riot, tear gas.
Yeah,
very messy game. I'm glad you got out in one piece, Perry.
Just about, mate. Just about. We did turn a bit nasty. I'm not.
Liverpool, Joe. Can you talk us through Liverpool's recent games? So they played Napoli and Lyon.
Yeah, so they've had a pretty mixed pre-season. Everyone was beforehand saying Liverpool great defence, get them in, and they just they've not kept any clean sheets. I mean, it's hard to say because obviously Addison's not been back. He's literally come back yesterday. And even then, after 3 minutes, he gave away a penalty and got a yellow card. So, but I wouldn't take that into any consideration.
Yeah.
So before that, they played against Napoli. They conceded 3 quite early, and that was with the back 4 of Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, and Robertson, which is quite alarming. But then last night, Firmino come back, Salah come back. Firmino scored. He was only on the pitch for 30 minutes. If anyone was seeing that and saying he scored and went off for 30 minutes, he wasn't injured. It was just part of their plan. They gave every striker 30 minutes. So I guess the interesting will be check the game time they get at the weekend when they play Man City. And then I think he'll have to play, because if Mane is still not back from the AFCON, I can't see them not playing. I know it's only Norwich, no disrespect to Norwich, but I'd still think Firmino will play. I wouldn't let it put you off. So 9.5 million, he could be the one. I think everyone's got Salah in their team. He's got about 40% ownership, I think. So I'm sure he'll be back. I think he'll get more minutes on the weekend. So yeah, I think Liverpool defence. I think a lot of people are tripping up on Liverpool defensively wise, but I think that might have gone out the window because they haven't kept any clean sheets since early pre-season. That was like Tranmere. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah, and then we have Man United, which we haven't actually included on the notes. But just looking at them here, since they, had a rocky end to the Premier League last season, they have won all 5 of their pre-season matches. And 2 of those are against Inter and Tottenham. So, quite difficult. The most recent one was 2 days ago. They played Norwegian team Kristiansund. So, again, another fierce rivalry. Kristiansund v Manchester United. Looked to be an extremely subdued game. The only goal coming from a penalty in the 92nd minute from Juan Mata.
I can't believe I missed that, mate. What a thriller.
Big game. They've won every game, but I don't know if they've really kind of pushed the boat out too much. If that makes sense.
We covered United last week. Just to give you another. That's cool. Basically we just said that their defence has been pretty solid. So another clean sheet. The only goal they've conceded was obviously last week, which was a deflected goal. So if they get Maguire in, they're looking pretty solid again. So there's definitely players in there.
Could be return of the Wan-Bissaka in everyone's team as well, to be honest.
Yeah, he's in my team.
How much is he?
5.5.
I might do straight swap him for Coleman.
Although it would be the same price as Maguire. If Maguire does go United, which is getting heavily, it's looking more and more likely. If they're the same price, it might be Maguire. But we can talk about that next week in the pod, hopefully, when the deadline's there.
When is the transfer deadline when the season starts this year?
I think is it the day before the season starts, or is it the day the actual season starts? Because the season starts next Friday, so could be just over 7 days.
Because this is the season where the transfer window actually locks before the season starts, right? Before you could buy players still.
First time, innit?
So that should put everyone on a level playing field. Cool. Thanks, guys, for going over all of the matches, all of the gossips and stuff.
It's actually no problem.
Now. Thanks, mate. I know you usually don't like this kind of stuff, so I appreciate it. So let's talk about our bench tactics and chips and all this kind of stuff. So let's go through each of our benches. There's only 3 of us, so it won't be too pedantic. Perry, what's your bench look like, mate?
Yeah, well, I'm very interested. I'm just genuinely interested in your opinions here, because my bench is shit. Shocking. Well, I've got Hayden, Kelly, and Simpson. As going through bench tactics, I'm all in on my starting 11. Now, I don't know whether that's good, bad, or not, but I've gone all in my 11. My starting 11 is decent, but Hayden, Kelly, and Simpson, and Button.
Are they all like 4 or 4.5, as low as possible?
Yeah.
And with the possibility to play.
Hayden is 4.5. Kelly and Simpson both 4. Button 4 as well.
Got you.
That's my bench.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, so I've changed it this year. So usually when I've done it, I've always gone for a strong bench. So not a strong bench, but the players would definitely get minutes. But I've done the same as Pell. So I've gone for a strong starting 11 and a weak bench. So I've got Stekelenburg in goal. And then I've got Greenwood Man United, Den Docker, who the legend that we've been talking about, and a Sheffield United defender who apparently is a midfielder. Lundstram, yeah.
Yes.
4 million, so he's an enabler.
Yeah, apparently he's actually meant to be quite good and has nailed on starter.
Oh, really?
Apparently so. That's what the
He's going in, mate. Simpson's out.
Lundstram in, boys. It's happening. Yeah, okay.
He's
How
only
much?
got
4.0, you say?
4 mil. Lundstram.
Oh, yeah, he's out.
He's got 4.5% ownership, so maybe the secret's out.
Yeah, there is. I saw it all over Twitter the other day. That's how I found out about it. So we all have the same tactic. I have Greenwood, Lundstram, and Nketiah for Arsenal. I don't expect any of them to do anything for me, and Button as well as my second keeper. The other day, I did have Jorginho on the bench and Shane Long, but I just thought it's just not worth it. I'd literally rather have like an extra 1 mil to spend on the team.
I would say, mate. Yeah, what I would say about that, mate, do you know that Button is actually the second most owned goalkeeper on FPL?
Sitting on bench today, mate, for 4 mil.
4 mil, and he's got 24% ownership.
He's going to start for Brighton, isn't he? And
no, Matt Ryan will start for Brighton.
Does he not? That's where he finished back end of last season, though.
He played 360. He got 360 minutes last season, right? Got 15 points, got 1 clean sheet the whole season. What that's done is he's put himself to the top of the 4 pile on the list, so everyone's just like, well, fuck it, this guy got 15 points. He's 4 mil.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, like, I guess it's not the end of the world if your second keeper don't play. I mean, I've got Edison in goal.
Well, it could be, though.
It could be an issue.
What about that Stecklenburg? How much is he and does he play?
He's only 4 mil and he's second choice. But the thing is, with that 24% ownership, so the price changes depend on that. So if people are going to wildcard their team early and change keepers, Button will go down in price, and then you have like a 3.8, 3.9 keeper, and then that'll damage your team value, and then you're stuck with him. So you can't get him out. You have to take like a hit. So that's why I took.
Stecklenburg's going in, mate.
I've literally just put him in as well.
Subscribers, have your team ready when you listen to this, mate, because you'll be ready.
I'm actually going to go all out and put McGovern in from Norwich because he's owned by even less people. So
that's the way forward, I think. If you're going to get a player that's not going to play, make sure they haven't got high ownership.
Yeah, exactly.
If their price decreases, you're screwed.
So on that note, what's Nketiah? Nketiah's got 5%, Lundstram's got 5, or just under 5, and Greenwood's got to be higher, right? He's 14% Greenwood. Might have to find a worse alternative.
If Man U get Dybala, I think Greenwood will be a bit redundant again. He'll go down to third choice.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So that's the benches. Thanks everybody for doing that. Let us know if you're doing the same thing. I think a lot of people I've spoken to this year are going all in on the starting 11. Even people who are more, historically have a well-rounded team. I think it's just because of the amount of quality players and you kind of need to go all in. It feels like. So let us know if you are going all in. And yeah, let's move on to chip management. So obviously we have the free hit, bench boost, and the triple captain. Joe, start us off this time. How do you plan or foresee yourself using these chips?
Well, based on what you said today, triple captain Den Docker game week 1. Get the early start, take the league by storm. No, I never use the chips till really late. So I say you want free hit when there's going to be like the blank game weeks once the FA Cup's progressing and teams aren't playing. You want bench boost and triple captain unless there's a really attractive fixture, like you'll be looking at Aguero v Sheffield United at home or something like that.
Salah against Norwich at home, game week 1, for example.
To be fair, but yeah, I think you with the triple captain and bench boost, you want to wait for those double game weeks. Then you've got players that have got twice a chance to get as many points as possible. They don't come till late in the game week. So what I would say to like new players, Ray and anyone, if you're behind in the league, if you're behind in the league by like a few points, don't be wasting your chips just to catch up because it's not worth it. And then come the late game weeks, you'll feel it. Because I don't want to single you out, Pell, but you played a pretty.
Mate. Well, yeah.
Talk us through it, Pell.
Listeners, mate, I put a bench boost quite early on, probably like, I don't know, within the first 7 game weeks, I think, or just very early, I can't quite remember. And yeah, I think my bench boost, my 4 players on the bench got me about one point, I think.
1 point.
It might actually have been 1 point.
It was 1 point.
They got
total.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think one of them got sent off or something. It was an absolute calamity, and I won't be making that mistake again. So yeah, so I thought I just looked at my players, I looked at the fixtures, I thought that looks tasty, went for it, backfired, mate. But we live and learn.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be the tactic for everyone. Probably try and save your chips as late in the season as possible when those fixtures pile up and you've got double game weeks, or when you have blank game weeks and you need to free hit like 4 Aston Villa players, even though you can't do that, but you need to get. I love the free hit because when you do it during that FA Cup week, your team is full of like bottom half of the table, just because everyone, like the top teams are still in the FA Cup. So you pack out your squad with like teams with players you wouldn't usually have. I just like that, I like that kind of stuff. What about wild cards? Obviously, I'm gonna change up my strategy this time with the wild card. I'm not going to do it on the first game week, probably.
We'll see, mate. We'll see.
Barkley didn't start. Wild card. I'm sick of it. Lundstrom in. Yeah. What's your wild card tactics, boys?
I reckon I'll just wait for an injury crisis that normally pops up. So hopefully that will be it. Hopefully it won't be born out of frustration. It'll be born out of a genuine injury crisis, or just maybe like a wanting of freshening up, not out of like complete. I've had a mare here. I need to change my team completely. But again, that's very likely to happen. In my experience, I'm looking at my team now. I feel good. I feel happy. But after that first game week, when no one does me anything, I'm gonna want to rip up their contracts and just get a new team.
Have you written contracts then?
Yeah.
Same for you, Joe?
I don't know. My plan is, so the fullback plan is, I've got a strong starting 11 this time, no real bench players. The plan is to see the first few game weeks, probably the September international break, have a proper assessment, see what players are settled in, see if there's any new signings that are looking good. And then maybe that, because I tend to use a wild card when you have an extended period of time, so you usually have like a 2-week gap, which is good and bad, because then every day you're making like 7 changes. But yeah, the plan is probably do it quite early. The initial plan is have a good starting 11 that's going to get decent points and just go from there.
Cool. Right, I must rush us on. I didn't bloody realise we're over 50 minutes so far. Obviously, we like to talk about FPL. So let's go quickly through the... well, actually not too quickly because this is quite important. The Sterling Salah conundrum. Where do we all stand here? Who has them both? Who has just one, or who has none? And what issues do we have?
I have them both. Yeah, both in the team. It is painful because it cheapens up everything else. But with the very cheap bench, I don't think it's. I'm going for it. I mean, I think they'll probably be, hopefully, be going for the golden boot again. So if you can have 2 midfielders that are both going for the golden boot, it puts you in good stead. So I've gone for both of them. Normally it would be a choice. The past few years, I wouldn't have done this, but I'm going to go for it. So that's my answer to the conundrum. Just whack them both in.
Joseph?
Yeah, I'm looking at it from like a mathematical point of view. So if you have them both, that is 24.5 million.
Yeah, it's like
so that basically means, you have 13 players, the average price you get for them is 5.8 million, which really isn't a lot for the good midfielders and good strikers.
Yeah.
At the moment, I have Salah and De Bruyne. I am thinking that I need to get Sterling in my team though, so that could definitely change. But at the moment, it's just Salah for me.
Yeah, my side, I currently have both Salah and Sterling. I'm pretty happy with my team at the moment, but I'm very open to downgrading Sterling to Kevin De Bruyne if they're getting similar returns.
after a few weeks, like doing a little double transfer in 1 week, taking Sterling out, putting in KDB and upgrading Josh King to someone a bit more better, basically. So yeah, I have both to kick off with. I'm open to change. Right, so rounding off the show here, we had a lovely comment from one of our subscribers called Baz King, and I quote, "Love the banter, lads. I want to spank that guy's nan and get false teeth around my ging gang ghoulies." Jordan's not here
Ghoulies,
tonight.
mate. I haven't heard that for years. That's a great name for the old
ging gang ghoulies, the old meat and two.
That's it.
So Jordan's not here, but he did have a response to you, Baz. He said, maybe if Baz had any ging gang ghoulies, he'd join the league and put his money where his balls are. So get in the league.
Side out.
Join the league, Baz King, and show him who's boss. We also have a team review for Mr. Edward Dinstall. Sorry if I butchered your name there. All right, let's go, boys. So his keepers, Fabianski and Leno.
Damn.
Oh, well, we're gonna review that, yeah.
We're reviewing it. We'll do it bit by bit. Fabianski. And
yeah, not great, Edward, mate.
I don't know.
You think?
Well, it's the same price as Alisson and a 4 million keeper. So I think are they both 5 million? Either way.
Yeah.
So it's not bad if they have rotational fixtures which benefit. It could be a good shot. Obviously, I think most people are doing Alisson or Edison and then a 4 million.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to fall into that category, and I think City and Liverpool will keep the most clean sheets, so you're going to want one of their keepers. But yeah, to be fair, Joe, you make a good point. It might come good, but Arsenal's defence is dodgy.
Yeah, you jumped the gun a bit there, Pel, didn't you? With that initial.
I did.
Comeback. Yeah, so he's obviously going
I stick by it.
He's obviously going for the rotation tactic. Obviously, it's likely West Ham or Arsenal will have a favourable matchup each week. He's just going to go that tactic rather than set and forget keeper. Very valid. I've done it before in the past. Has worked. Obviously not last season. Cool. Onto his defence. Looks very strong, I must say. I'm quite impressed here. Has Luca Digne, Big Virgil van Dijk, Eric Laporte, Andy Robertson, and then backup Carl Walker-Peters. Discuss.
Expensive.
It's a premium defence. It might get a lot of there's a lot of points there though going. Doubling up on Liverpool, as we said pre-season, they haven't looked great. I don't know how far you can read into that. Yeah, I mean it looks good. The defence is good, but it's because it weakens up your other team. It'd
be interesting to his midfield now if he's got a defence.
Yeah. Good defense,
I think you have a very 5-star defence in my opinion. I think it's very strong. Your midfield, Edward, I would describe it as a midfield of differentials. Right, here we go. Bernardo Silva, Sigurdsson,
Silif Sigurdsson,
Niles Barkley,
Damn.
and Lucas Moura with Jorginho on the bench.
I'm worried. That is a team of differentials.
I'm worried about game time first and foremost there.
I think game week 1. Yeah, game week 1 he's going to be all right because I think Moura's literally going to play game week 1 against Villa, probably get some points, and then after that got City away, and then I think Son will take his place, and then it'll be a heavy rotation option. Yeah, it's either knee jerk or it could pay off, it could not. It's a risky one, that midfield.
Is very risky, but it does open up funds for an attack, which I am jealous of. He has got Abanyanan and Vardy and Greenwood on the bench.
That's decent.
That's good. Front two.
I mean, Jamie Vardy is always, it was always haunted me. I'm always like, I should always put Vardy in, but I never do, and he racks up points. It's not bad, I hope he's in our league, so I want to see how that team progresses over. It's a different sort of team, isn't it? He's gone.
I haven't seen many teams like that, quite heavy on the strikers, which is quite refreshing to see. Please join the league if you haven't already, Edward. We would love to see how you get on. So let's cover that again just to recap. We've got Fabianski or Leno in goal.
Digne, Van Dijk, Laporte, Robinson, Bernardo Silva, Sigurdsson, Barkley, Lucas Moura, Banyang, and Vardy. Good. Cool. Very different to my team, very different to all of our teams, I think, but not necessarily a bad thing. I think there's so many players this year who's going to get a lot of points. But yeah, I think you could be in. I think you could be in onto something there. I think I might wildcard game week 1 and copy you. All right, this is getting close to an hour now. Very close actually to an hour. So I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. Thanks very much if you've listened the whole hour. Message me on YouTube. I'll send you a fucking gold medal.
Have you got through an hour, mate?
If you got through that, I'm very impressed. But yeah, obviously appreciate everyone who clicks and listens and subscribes and all that stuff. The full squad wasn't out today, which but I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. I think it's even better. No, I'm joking. So Jordan, Ray, and Jake will of course be back next week. I think Jake might not actually be back next week. I think he's what's he doing?
Well, and I'm not sure what he's doing. Jordan's got a 25% chance of playing. And Ray, we all know we miss Ray's valuable insights this week.
We could have really used him on the Arsenal stuff for sure. And I would have loved to hear his take on El Neni having someone murdered in the Egyptian home.
I must say, for El Neni's, his house was uninhabited, so they were under construction.
Someone was trying to steal some cables or something, I heard, and he electrocuted himself. Anyway.
Well, yeah.
Mate, we're not ending the podcast on that.
All right.
Let's just say.
We're signing off.
Thanks.
Cheers, guys.
See ya, guys.